Hey guys, in this week's Email for Insight, I want to share with you a few things that will help you create a team of problem solvers. Right? I recently had a client come to me and he realized that he had a team full of problem identifiers, but only a few problem solvers. And he wanted to see what to do to help more of the people on his team solve problems. It was creating a bit of a bottleneck because there's all these people identifying problems and only a few people who could actually solve them and do something about it. And so if this is familiar to you, if you have people on your team who can identify problems but aren't good at solving them, first and foremost, celebrate that, right? Because that's a certain level of awareness if they can identify the problems, and that's worth acknowledging them for. A lot of people on the team can't even identify the problems and they're still working within them. So first and foremost, that's really important to identify that and celebrate that within the problem identifiers. And then in this video, I'm going to share with you a couple fundamental things that will make a huge difference in having the people that are identifying problems turn them into solutions. So whether it is your team or clients, if you're a coach, how to help guide people towards the insights that will turn the problems into a possibility. And the first thing, it's really two fundamental truths to be aware of. This will make all the difference. It's fundamentally understanding what a problem really is, and then two, knowing what state of mind humans make their best decisions in and how to access it. Right? When leaders and coaches, when they misunderstand these two things, when somebody comes to them with a problem, what they tend to do is they tend to go to strategy. They tend to try to fix the problem with a strategy from the same level of thinking where the problem appears to be a problem. And this is something you don't want to do, because when we try to solve a problem from the same level of thinking that sees the problem, we're gonna just get more of the same. It might be a different flavor, a different name, a different color, but it's ultimately going to be more of the same. So let's explore. So these two fundamental truths, the first is to know what a problem really is, right? A problem, all it is a thought. It's everything in our universe is created from thought, and thought is transient. It is constantly changing. And thought is, I like to talk about problems is, problem is a momentary lapse of perspective. If you think about it, you probably have some people on your team who maybe are just showing up for a job. They just come and they punch their card and they're going to do their thing. You have some of those people on the team, and you share with the team that the numbers are low and you really need to focus on increasing revenue. Those people that are coming for a job are they're not going to lose a night of sleep over that. They're not going to stress about it at all. They don't see it as a problem. They're not going to worry about it. Whereas you might lose sleep over it. You see it as a problem. And then, that person who is showing up for a job, they're really worked up that the ink cartridge has been out for a week and nobody has bought a new one. That's their problem. And to you, that seems trivial. So see, a problem is simply a momentary perspective. And our perspectives are changing given what looks real to us, what we're thinking. And when you fundamentally understand this, then you'll know that you don't want to solve a problem from the perspective where the problem looks like a problem. What you want to understand is that there are other perspectives. We can increase our awareness, our understanding, our consciousness at any given moment and see things from a higher ground. When we do, we are able to see the solutions and the strategies are going to appear obvious to us. It's sort of like that elusive obvious. Because if a problem isn't real, then there's a common sense solution that exists simultaneously. And when somebody comes to you and they're worried about something, and something looks like a problem, they're momentarily, if they're worried about it, their perspective has shrunk. if they're stressed and worried. That's what our feelings inform us, is that we have contracted our perspective. And knowing that, you won't get sucked into trying to solve the problem from that level of seeing. You might get kind of pulled in, because especially if it's one of your team members, they're going to bring you an issue that might appear to be a problem to you. It might get you stressed. It's, lose a big account or something that all of a sudden you too are feeling a lot of stress and worry about that. But if you know this fundamental truth about problems, that they're made of thought, and if we're feeling stressed and worried, that we don't want to look for a solution from that place, then you won't do that. You won't guide them to look there. I see this all the time, and when you're wanting to teach people how to solve problems, when I hear this from leaders, what they do when they want to create problem solvers, but they're frustrated that this is a problem when this looks like a problem, they're going to come up with a strategy. All right, I'm going to give them this checklist, ask what would I do if this is my business? What would leader do? You have to answer these questions before you come and talk to me, right? That's a strategy. But that's never worked. I've never heard anybody that a strategy that they applied from the perspective where the problem looked like a problem actually worked long term. And check it out for yourself and see if that's true for you. 100% of the time, however, when somebody experiences a problem and understands that this is not the place to take action from, they'll look away for a moment from the problem. They'll let the thinking that created the contraction of perspective, they'll let that drop. When that drops, this is what happens. And so that's the second fundamental truth, that when first the truth about the truth about problems, that they're not real, they're made of thought. And that a common sense solution exists beyond the confines of a contracted perspective. So knowing that. And then the second is understanding the state of mind in which humans make the best choices. And that is just simply that humans make the best choices from an expanded perspective. And so it's fundamentally understanding the truth about how humans work, that we are made of pure consciousness, which means that we are made of the intelligence of the universe. So the same intelligence that has the universe working cohesively, the planets orbiting the sun and everything staying the way it is, we have access, we are that intelligence. When we contract, what revs up is our personal thinking, our memories, and our personal thinking. And the wisdom of that intelligence doesn't get through. It's not as likely to come through. It might, but it's a lot less likely. It's a lot harder to see. When we take our eye off of the thoughts creating this, we go back to our default setting, and this is our default setting. It actually takes some worried thinking to make this happen. So all it takes to go back to this is just to drop that thinking. When we drop that thinking, this happens. And this is the place where humans make their best choices, because this is the place that you can see. If there's a common sense solution to that problem, you're going to see it from here, not here. And so when you are leading your team and working with clients and they come to you with something that is intense and really real for them, if you fundamentally know these two things for yourself, beyond a concept, beyond an idea, but you know it, like you know this to be true, you've experienced this, then you won't be seduced to look with them to try to solve the problem from here. And different things will occur to you as to what to say and where to guide them to look that would not occur to you if you didn't understand the truth about these two things. So when it comes to creating a team of problem solvers or guiding your clients towards insight that will help them transcend their problems and see the opportunity on the other side of it, It's really knowing these two things for yourself. And so I invite you this week to really look and see, get curious about problems and just notice how one person's problem is not a problem at all to another person. So it can't be the situation or the circumstance. It can't be that. It has to be the thinking. And you can start to feel for yourself, your feelings when you feel stressed and worried, how you can feel the constriction. And experiment for yourself when you feel the constriction, try to drop it. Now I'm telling you, in those moments, it's like Sid Banks said, I keep telling people to look within and none of them do. They never do. And I have experienced this for myself. When I'm feeling constricted, my pain body and ego wants to stay right here. I want to stay in my revved up thinking, in my victimhood, and I want to stay in the intensity of it. It takes a lot of intentionality to drop that. And for me, sometimes it takes disengaging from the circumstance that feels to me, even though it's not, but it feels that it's causing my thinking. If I can walk away, go for a walk, lay down, close my eyes, anything that'll take your eye off the ball for just a moment will allow this to happen. So I'm looking forward to hearing more of what you guys see about this. What are you discovering for yourself? What are you noticing? What questions do you have for it? Talk to you soon. Namaste.